53%. That's how much of the Project 2025 agenda has already been completed. Not proposed, not debated, done in just over a year. If you're not familiar with Project 2025, here's what you need to know. It's a 900-page policy blueprint written by the Heritage Foundation, a think tank with direct ties to the Trump administration. It lays out in specific detail how to restructure the federal government from the inside. Trump publicly disavowed it during the campaign. His administration has still enacted 283 of its 532 recommended actions. That's not a coincidence. That's a plan being executed. But before we get into what's been done, you need to understand who's driving it. Russell Vought is Trump's director of the Office of Management and Budget. He's also one of the primary architects of Project 2025. And in a recorded speech, he said this about federal workers. "We want the bureaucrats to be traumatically affected. When they wake up in the morning, we want them to not want to go to work." That's not a leak. That's not spin from critics. The man running the federal budget said out loud that the goal is psychological trauma for government employees. So when you see agencies being gutted and watchdogs being fired, is this really about saving money, or is it about something else? Let's follow the evidence, and we're going to start with the move they made on day 5, before most people even noticed. On January 24th, 2025, 4 days after the inauguration, a series of emails went out late on a Friday night. 2 sentences each. No explanation, no prior notice. The reason given was changing priorities. 17 inspectors general were fired simultaneously. If you don't know what an inspector general is, here's the simple version. Every major federal agency has one. Their entire job is to be the internal watchdog. They investigate fraud. They investigate waste. They investigate abuse of power. And they answer to nobody inside those agencies. That's the point. They're independent by design. And on day 5, they were gone. This wasn't legal. Federal law requires the president to give Congress 30 days notice before removing an inspector general, along with a detailed explanation for why. Trump did neither. He sent a 2-sentence email on a Friday night and called it done. A federal judge ruled it was illegal, said it was obvious Trump broke the law, but she refused to reinstate them. Her reasoning? Trump could just fire them again after waiting 30 days. The ruling was essentially, yes, this was illegal, and no, nothing is going to happen about it. Sit with that for a second. Now here's the part that didn't make many headlines. Several of those fired inspectors general had active investigations running, and when you look at what they were investigating, a pattern shows up fast. The Defense Department Inspector General had opened a review of SpaceX. The Agriculture Department Inspector General had an open investigation into Neuralink, Elon Musk's brain implant company. The Labor and Transportation Inspectors General both came from agencies that had previously fined Musk companies. Elon Musk, who Trump appointed to run DOGE, the team doing the firing. Those are documented public facts. But the purge didn't stop there. That same week, Trump fired the head of the Office of Government Ethics and the head of the Office of Special Counsel. One oversees White House ethics rules, the other protects whistleblowers. Both gone. Same week. Then they defunded the coordinating body for all Inspector General offices across the government. whistleblower reporting portals went dark, and agencies were directed not to cooperate with the Government Accountability Office. That's Congress's own watchdog. So here's what happened in the first week. The internal watchdogs were fired illegally. The ethics office was dismantled. Whistleblower protections were cut, and agencies were told to stop talking to Congress's oversight body. Here's the number that puts all of this in perspective. A Senate report found that implementing the open recommendations from those fired inspectors general would save $175 billion. That's $5 billion more than DOGE claims it has saved in total. The people doing the actual work of finding waste were removed before that work could be finished. So when the administration says this is about efficiency, look at what was removed first. Not the programs, not the spending, the oversight. Because everything that comes after, the IRS, your tax data, your Social Security records, only makes sense.